Hello, little witchlings and princelings, and welcome to your weekly Coven Summoning. My name is Ilsa.
And my name is Stacy.
And we're Caffeine and Conjuring,
a fantasy bookish podcast where we will discuss some of our favorite fantasy reads.
Welcome to our first ever Sidequest episode.
Yay!
For anyone new here, we've been doing a Throne of Glass deep dive for all of our episodes. That's the basis of our season. We wanted to switch it up a little bit, have something different for maybe anyone who wants to listen who's not into reading Throne of Glass, which is fine. We don't judge.
But we do.
Just a little bit. So if you haven't listened to Throne of Glass or haven't read Throne of Glass, you should definitely start. And then when you do, check out our other episodes. But in the meantime, we have a very exciting episode because today we'll be talking about Quicksilver by Callie Heart. This was one of the first books I've read this year, and it was so good.
Yeah, I only just finished it last week. It should be fresh in my mind, but I mean, as soon as the book closes, I'm on to something else, so
it's a nice little breather, too, talking about something else than Throne of Glass, getting us out of our comfort zone a little bit.
For sure. Getting
away from the white-haired fae and going to the dark side.
The dark-haired fae. And this is going to take on like a totally different format, too, from our regular...
Yeah. It's going to be closer to our like episode review format.
Yeah. We're just going to do a full review on the whole book, not chapter by chapter.
Yeah. Should I start us off with a little summary of Quicksilver?
For sure.
So, like we said, we read Quicksilver by Callie Heart. So, do not touch the sword. Do not turn the key. Do not open the gate. In the land of the unforgiving desert, there isn't much a girl wouldn't do for a glass of water. 24-year-old Sarah Sfain is good at keeping secrets. No one knows about the strange powers she possesses, or the fact that she's been picking pockets and stealing from the Undying Queen's reservoirs for as long as she can remember. But a secret is like a knot. Sooner or later, it's bound to come undone. When Sarah comes face to face with Death himself, she inadvertently reopens a gateway between realms and is transported to a land of ice and snow. The Fae have always been the stuff of myth, of legend, of nightmares. But it turns out, they're real, and Sarah has landed herself in the middle of a centuries-long conflict that might just get her killed. The first of her kind to tread the frozen mountains of Yvelia in over 1,000 years, Sarah mistakenly binds herself to Kingfisher, a handsome Fae warrior who has secrets and nefarious agendas of his own. He will use her alchemist magic to protect his people, no matter what it costs him. Or her. Death has a name. It is Kingfisher of Azengate. His past is murky, his attitude stinks, and he is the only way Saris is going to make it home.
So, obviously romantasy.
Yeah.
Very obvious. And it was first published in 2024, June 4th. So why did we pick this? What was our...
Because we decided we wanted to do our Sidequest episodes, and it worked out that we're reading Quicksilver as our book club book for the month of April. So it was kind of like a freebie episode.
I love it.
We didn't exactly have these Sidequest episodes planned for long. It was an idea that came up fairly recently. And we were going to read another book, but that's now going to be our second Sidequest.
Yeah.
And if I haven't said it already, we'll be doing these episodes kind of quarterly to the year. This one's starting a little later because it was thought of a little later. But our next episode will be at the end of July, and we'll keep that schedule so it'll be end of October, end of January. So exciting.
It is.
And leading up to those episodes, we'll have little teasers put up of what the book might be. Mm-hmm. But it'll be a surprise. Even though, if you know anything about this book, the picture I posted left not much to the
A little on the
imagination.
nose. It's okay.
It was a pretty dead giveaway.
We'll make our hints a little more cryptic.
Yeah.
But also as a huge, huge warning,
Oh, yes.
there are going to be an abundance of spoilers.
All the
We are not
spoilers.
holding back anything.
Nope, nothing is off the table.
No. We are going into these review episodes assuming that if you're listening, you've read it.
Yeah. So what were your expectations going into this book?
I was kind of on the fence about it. I very much judge books by their covers. I know I'm not alone in that. We all do it. So when I first started seeing this book come across, it didn't really pique my interest. I'm not huge on the like realistic character art on the front of books like this.
Yeah.
It felt a little on the cheesy side with like the tear
It
and the
did.
delicate little butterflies. Like it just, there wasn't much of this book cover that really spoke to me.
Yeah.
So my expectations going into this, and especially seeing a few like lower starred reviews.
Yeah.
I didn't have super high hopes going into it. I mean, obviously that was completely blown out of the water. Spoiler alert. But that was my expectations going in. Like I went in just thinking it's going to be just another romantasy.
Yeah.
How about you?
So for me, I remember when this book was announced. Like, I was fully into BookTok, like, keeping up on all of the exciting reads coming up, and this one was so overly hyped. Appropriately hyped now that I've read it. But so overhyped that I put off reading it. I had zero interest in reading it right now. Like, all the hype kind of turned me from it.
Mhm.
And BookTok has burned me in the past with the overhyped books.
Yeah.
I'm not always with them on what they hype up. So it took me a long time, and I think it was December or January. I finally picked it up, and I'm like, all right, I gotta do this. I gotta finally read it.
Mhm.
And then I read it, or I listened to it, I should say. I didn't read it. The audiobook?
The audiobook.
Amazing. That was the fastest 5-star, I think, I've done the entire year.
Yeah.
Like, so good. The audiobook was amazing. The male narrator, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, for this episode, I read it again, and I did a mix of reading and audiobook. I do feel like if I had just read it, it would have been a lower star. The audiobook really brought it together.
Yeah. Because I started it as physical or e-reader. And it was a bit sluggish for me to get into. But as soon as I switched over to the audiobook, I just took off running.
Yeah.
So I agree with you there. If it was just physical or e-reader, I definitely would have.
Yeah, the first bit definitely is a little slow reading the physical of. But that's kind of like any fantasy. Like, I'm just used to that at this point. The world building doesn't slug for me as much as it normally does anymore.
Yeah. How did you feel after the like first few chapters of it?
Honestly, like, because I listened to it, it might have, like I said, might have been different if I actually read the physical copy. I was immediately hooked. Like, first 2 chapters, she's stealing the gauntlet, like, hooked. Done.
Yeah,
like,
it starts out like high action, like it really just pulls you in. Yeah, you're totally right on that.
Yeah. How about you?
Same.
Yeah.
Same, exact same, yeah. I didn't find the world building too bad.
No.
And I don't know if that's just because like I don't know. If it's high fantasy, I find myself having difficulty with the world building. But if it's romantasy, I guess because like it's a different breed of book.
Yeah.
So like when you go into these sorts of books, the world building really isn't insane because they're focusing a lot on the romance aspects of it.
Yeah, there's not as much lore in
Yeah.
romantasy than there is in some of the high fantasy. And this book in particular, like, and I know I read or listened to the audiobook, so they were spelt out for me literally. But a lot of high fantasy, like, the names of everything is weird. Like, the names of the people, the names of the places. The ones in this one weren't too bad, and I can follow along with it a bit easier.
I found this one pretty daunting for that because as soon as you open up the book, you're right off the bat, there's a pronunciation guide.
Oh, I didn't
And
even see
that
that.
scares me. That scares me. When I see that, my brain instantly says, okay, you're not going to know any of these names, so just memorize the shape of the name.
But you know what? I'd rather it be at the front because I recently read the
100%.
duo of Prior of the Orange Tree. And that was a high fantasy that I struggled with the first 70% of that first book because every name was wild. And the pronunciation guide is at the end of the book. I didn't know it was in the book, and it was literally every second word was a name that I'm not familiar with. So I would have been like back and forth the entire time. Like, for a book that size, like, it took forever to get the names down. And that's why I was like, okay, you know what? Screw it. I am going to read the second one now. Because that first one put me in such a bad slump. I was 2 months before I picked up and finished a book again. Which is so weird for me.
It is.
But I was
you would have like 50 books done in that time.
Yeah. Well, I read I think it was like 15 over that weekend when I finally got back into it again.
Yeah.
But I was like, I have to read the second one now because if I have to go back to learning all these names again, it's just going to put me in another slump.
Yeah.
So there needs, I like when there's a balance for that. Or like this book where you get to know the main first 5 characters. And then
they bring in.
Yeah, so you get used to the names and then more characters and places once you're used to it. It's not all in your face all at the beginning.
I find that's the familiar for romantasy.
Yeah.
I do feel like romantasy has an easier, I don't know, it's easy level fantasy. Fine.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of fantasy series that really just takes you and just chucks you in the deep end.
Yeah.
Which is here's all these places, all these names, all these gods, all these, artifacts. Good luck.
We're looking at you, Sarah. That first Crescent City book.
I actually didn't mind the world building in Crescent City. I didn't find it nearly as difficult to get into as a lot of people
I didn't find it difficult to get into. It was just a lot of it right at the beginning. They did have that initial action, and then it was kind of 300 pages of world building.
The initial action. Break my heart all over again. Anyways, that's going to be also a hard book series for us to cover.
I love how we're covering something else and just immediately back into the mask world.
We're mask girlies.
Yeah.
We can't help it.
Well, back to the Callie Heart world.
Yes. Back to Quicksilver. Back to Kingfisher. Did you find that this book was a hook you right away, or was it a slow burn?
Hooked right away. Did not stop. Yeah. I finished that audiobook in a day. Done. Could not stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. The romance of it was a slow burn, but the actual action or attention grabbing bits were very
I do love a slow burn for enemies to lovers, though. I hate when enemies to lovers are the burn in the first 40% of the book. Take it, throw it in the garbage. Don't want it.
Yeah.
If it's just like a regular romance or something like that, sure. Like, I don't mind the, fast pace, they're together in the first few chapters, whatever. But
Mhm.
enemies to lovers, like, stop.
Yeah.
Unless it
You
was like a
need
friends with
to
benefits thing that turned enemies, that turned lovers, kind of like,
Oh, yeah. I
right?
don't mind the
Yeah.
hopping and skipping around. Yeah. All the different tropes. But yeah, the enemies to like lovers needs to be really make you pine for it.
Yeah, I don't want to insta love enemies to lovers.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to
Yeah.
fall at your feet, kiss the ground you walk on, obsessed. Like,
No, we want that in the last like 20% of the book.
exactly. So, your thoughts on the main characters? We'll start with Saris and Kingfisher. Or we'll start with Saris and Hayden, because we meet them first.
Yeah, that's true. Um, I wasn't a huge fan of Saris. I don't
I feel
know.
that.
Yeah, like I don't really know what exactly. It's just she rubbed me the wrong way, maybe. Um, she just felt kind of flat and selfish
Yeah,
in a
and a
way.
little dumb.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And Hayden's not much better.
yeah.
Hayden was a side character I just didn't really give a shit about from start to finish. And like the whole premise of the book is her trying to get back to him. And I'm just like, girl, for what? Like,
Yeah, and
you're in
yeah,
Feyland,
and
live
that
your life.
yeah. And like they didn't I don't know. I felt kind of like I wasn't invested in their sibling
Yeah.
I don't know, relationship like I don't know, like I just didn't feel that like but I know I did find her cringy. Like some of her comebacks were a bit weird,
Yeah.
a little cringy. Um yeah, I don't know. She just didn't really do it for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you with her. I definitely not one of my favorite main female characters. I wouldn't even put her in like the top 1,000. She's pretty down there in terms of, but like it didn't ruin the story for me. Like I wasn't a fan
No.
of her, but it didn't ruin it for me.
No. Was it was only in her perspective, right? We only got
Yeah.
her. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, obviously I guess we didn't like hate her or anything cuz we still both rated the book
Yeah.
really high and it was all in her perspective. Most of mine was for the dirty talking Kingfisher. That was worth at least 3 of those stars.
Well, before we get to him, we have one more side character from the first part to talk about, and it's Carrion fucking Swift.
He has my whole heart.
I love him so much. He is my favorite
Yeah.
character of the whole book. Aside from Onyx, Carrion and Onyx are
Yeah.
my favorite.
I agree with that because I don't know, I'm always a sucker for like I don't know, that like the comedic relief
Yeah.
in books. Like I just always gravitate towards that those characters. And yeah, Carrion was that like to a T. He was
And like he's such a
oh,
comedic relief character that when the twist comes at the end about him, you're just kind of like, what?
yeah. Yep.
We'll get to that a little later, but so now we enter the Feyland for the main characters, and we're introduced to Kingfisher briefly, but he is going to be the focus of a lot of our conversation for this episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is the tall, broody, dark-haired, handsome Fey shadow daddy.
He was kind of mean though at the start, like a little almost excessive.
I
He
loved it.
almost didn't have me. He almost didn't have me.
And a lot
It
of
didn't
people
take
hate
long
him for
to
that. Like, they hate his character. And I'm just like, no, give it to me. Give me the angry, like... And especially because I didn't like the main female character. I was like, that's right.
Yeah.
You tell her. You tell her.
That's fair. That is fair.
And I know I said this already, but bless the narrator for doing his voice just wonders.
It's worth, like, even if you have, like, no, like, you don't plan on actually, like, finishing the whole audiobook, it's worth just opening up one of those scenes in the audiobook and just listening to it.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Just do it. Just do yourself that favor. What a beautiful, beautiful voice.
Yeah.
I didn't think I had a thing for, like phone voices, but he has a good phone voice.
He really does.
I really did like his whole, like, the character development for him. Learning why he's such an asshole, why he's hated by everybody. And just, I don't know, just getting that, his whole story was just great.
Yeah.
Broke my heart a few times.
And him and Carrion playing off of each other for the comedic relief. It's so good.
Yep. Agreed.
Covering his genitals in mud. You stink. You stink like my woman. I must cleanse you.
Yep. And Carrion is just basically getting a hand job.
Yeah.
With mud.
Moss and mud and other herbs and spices.
I caught onto that, like, right away.
Yeah.
I don't know why it took Carrion so long to figure it out.
I mean, as much as I love him, he ain't the brightest fish in the sea.
Oh. Oh, but bless him.
Yeah. He's like the cocky golden retriever.
Yeah. I think that's why I really do like the dark, broody shadow daddy. Like, I do really like that. But there's just something about those, like, golden retriever characters that I can't turn away from.
Yeah, and he wasn't like the typical, like, do anything for you kind of golden retriever. Like, he is going to rag on you and poke fun at you and just be a dipshit, but it's so funny.
Yeah. I love it. Love it.
And I think the last notable side character is Onyx. Our little snow fox buddy.
Yeah.
The sweetest little baby with the best attitude.
I'm always afraid when authors bring in pets.
Yep.
I'm always terrified.
Yep.
Because I will DNF. I will.
Yeah. I think that was like the one spoiler I just came in and said for you in Throne of Glass, because you were like, does Fleetfoot die? And I had to tell you. Because I'm like, that's a trigger for me. Like, I don't have many triggers, if any, but pet death, I'll still read the book. I might just glaze or skip over that section.
Yeah, just be very, like, oblivious to it and be like, nope.
Yep.
Didn't happen.
That dog is still there, just at someone else's house. He's gone to the farm.
Oh, yeah. Who would your least favorite be?
It's a hard one.
Yeah, I mean, we basically had, like, 3 big bad guys.
But honestly, I didn't hate any of them as much as I hated Hayden.
Oh my god. Okay, was not expecting that.
He was such a little shit. Like...
He was.
Like, yeah, the 3 big bad guys, they are what they are, but, like, I guess the king would be my least favorite.
The king would be my, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be my least favorite, but I can see if you're not looking at the three obvious people, Hayden is a pretty good one to pick.
Yeah.
Oh my god, when he went through the portal to bring back Hayden and he brings back Carrion, I fucking thought that like it meant that he was a relative of
I thought that
Sarah's.
too.
I was like, oh my god, no.
It's like, oh, we're gonna have a Credence moment here, are we?
Yeah.
But no, it was just her scent
Yeah.
that
Yep.
apparently lingers for a
He was
very
not
long
pleased.
time.
Apparently. I mean, how they must not bathe. No, well, I mean, they're in the desert, so they wouldn't really bathe that much.
Yeah, I mean, they're always fighting for like a glass of water to just try and live through the day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so it's definitely not something that anyways. I really like Carrion, and I really don't want to think about how often he did or did not bathe. Ah,
it was funny because the first time I read this book, I pictured Carrion for the first part of the book. It changed pretty quickly. But I was picturing him as like Gaston. Like that kind of character. And then I realized what his character was actually like, so that bubble got burst, thank God, because I'd much rather
yeah.
how he is. But that was my initial, like... So, like,
Oh, that's
Luke
brutal.
Evans, or whatever his name is, that played Gaston the live action, that's who I was initially picturing as Carrion.
Yeah.
Is it Luke Evans? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I really don't mind his face, though.
No, and when he plays Bard in The Hobbit, perfect.
Yeah. And Dracula. So nice. Anyways, all I do on this freaking podcast is just thirst.
We need a water hose. Just spray us in the face every time we get too thirsty.
Yep. Yep. Where are we to? Oh, okay. So, like, character growth. Who did you think changed the most?
Kingfish. Well, not necessarily changed the most, but like came out of his shell.
Our
Like,
insight?
yeah, like in terms
Oh,
of
okay.
what
I see what
we,
you mean.
yeah, like
Yeah.
Kingfisher had the most growth with the main character. We'll say,
Yeah.
like seeing him be that asshole at the beginning, but then seeing how protective and loving and playful he could be, can be, turns
Mhm.
into be.
Yeah, I agree with that. Was it a believable transition?
Yeah, I mean, tale as old as time, the broody man had a horrible past, and he's actually a softie in there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said earlier, his story was so good. Like, everything about it was wonderful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who did you think had the most growth?
Definitely Kingfisher, I
Yeah.
think.
Did the character relationships feel organic to you? We already touched on the sibling relationship being not so much.
No, that didn't mean shit.
How did you feel about Saris and Kingfisher? Their chemistry as a couple.
Yeah, I had no issues with it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, even her and Carrion
Yeah.
had good chemistry, like as much as she was like queen bitch to him at the start, but like you could tell that there was that like chemistry between them. But obviously, I mean, I'm team Kingfisher,
Yeah.
but still, like I thought that all the the relationships besides Hayden and Saris felt organic.
The only one I didn't like was Kingfisher and Onyx. Because how could that little bastard not love that man? Like, I
Yeah.
wanted so badly to have a scene where, like, Kingfisher's coming around to the fox, and, like, the fox just comes up and, like, curls up on his shoulder or something. Like, I
Mhm.
wanted that moment, and I really hope that's in the second one. Where Kingfisher pulls a Kale and goes to save the fox from harm, kind of thing.
Yes.
That
Yes.
better happen in book 2.
Agreed. Callie Heart, you heard us. Were there any standout moments for any of the characters? I have a quote for mine.
Okay.
It was when he said, "Don't call her sunshine."
Ah! Yes!
Yeah, so he commanded, don't call her sunshine. Why not? If Carrion's plan was to poke the bear, then he sure as hell knew how to go about it. But Kingfisher didn't respond to the taunting note in his question. He just cocked his head a little, nostrils flaring, and spoke in a low rumble. Because she is moonlight, the mist that shrouds the mountains, the bite of electricity in the air before a storm, the smoke that rolls across a battlefield before the killing starts. You have no idea what she is, what she could be. You should call her Majesty.
Oh, so good.
Because we get like Carrion's little like taunting, and then Kingfisher just like goes total like, I don't even know what the word is for that.
Yeah.
For that extreme amount of like possessiveness is just,
So my standout moment is now the same as yours, because
is it?
that that takes
Yeah.
it.
Don't call her sunshine. That will play in my head like all day, every day.
Yeah. So a little more about the plot and pacing. So we said earlier, we agreed, like, it started a little slow after that initial, like, first conflict, but then it picked
Hmm.
up again, and the audiobook just made the pacing great.
Yeah.
I think we're both on the same page with that. Were there any plot twists that shocked you, or any that felt predictable?
Okay, so I was really shocked by Carrion, his
Yes. The
little
Fey
plot twist. Like
ancestry.
I thought that, he was going to be, I don't know, like I didn't expect him to have any sort of like Fey ancestry or like be of importance like that. I just thought that he was going to be just the other human, you know?
Yeah.
But I was really really shocked by that.
Another
Um
one that shocked me was the queen actually being on the side of the Fae. Or the Fae King, anyways. Like, being in the works with the Fae King and the Vampire
oh
King.
yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
played her off as being so paranoid of the Fae Kingdom and the Fae King. And then finding out
Yeah.
that she was a part of that, I was just like, what?
Yeah.
Because I thought it was going to be like a Maeve and King of Ardalan situation. Where it's two different, like, going to battle that way. And then, like,
Mhm.
her battling her people, and then her battling the Feyland. I didn't think that she was going to be sucked into a menage a trois of evil.
How fun. But I agree with that. That was definitely a shock too. I'm trying to think if there was anything that felt predictable.
Her changing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That was the most predictable one for me, that she turned. Now,
Yeah.
it did shock me a little bit that she turned into, like, a half-breed of Fae and vampire,
Mm.
but I assumed that she was going to be something that gave her
Something.
everlasting life, so her and her man can be everlasting together.
Obviously.
Either that, or he was going to
Obviously.
turn human, one or the other.
Yeah. Definitely more likely. For me, I would have thought more predictable her
Yeah.
turning somehow.
Yeah. But yeah, the half-breed was cool. And then
Yeah,
she
it
just, like,
was.
wakes
I
up and they
agree.
open the window and like, oh, you're queen of the vampires. Here's your court. They're waiting for you.
Oh shit. was how it ended, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh goddamn.
So, did the plot feel original or did it borrow heavily from tropes? And did you care?
um, is there ever nowadays an original romantasy?
Yes.
Obviously I find that they all play off of each other. They all borrow tropes. They all, that is what it is. I don't care. I will still eat up every single one. It doesn't matter if it's a carbon copy. I will. You change the names. Oh, it's a different story.
Like the amount of Beauty and the Beast retellings I've read, and I will still continue to eat up every single one you put in front of me.
Exactly.
Zero complaints.
Exactly. I'm trying to think like what was an original take on this one. The Quicksilver aspect was really cool. I have to say, like
Yeah.
that felt pretty unique. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't read anything that I could really, I don't know,
Yeah.
correlate it to, um but yeah, I thought that was really cool how she could control like the Quicksilver.
The only thing I can think of is maybe they've done something with like a King Midas story in the past where the gold could be a portal of
Yeah.
sorts. But I haven't read anything like that, but it also wouldn't surprise me if there was something like that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, for sure. What was your favorite scene or moment?
So, my favorite scene that I can think of right now, anyways, was when Danya's sword was not given, but claimed, or the sword claimed somebody else, and she lost her shit.
Yes.
It felt so good for her to get that, like, just everything with her I hated. And that felt so
Same.
good. And that
Yeah,
was such a good
I
moment.
agree. It really was.
And then she got her hand cut off, which is beautiful.
Yep, she deserved it.
Yep. And then, of course, any scene with Naked Kingfisher.
Oh my god. Yeah, mine is like between a couple. I like actually laughed out loud when he hold on. Yeah, he split the bottom lip and then thin line trickled down his chin. She squawked when he'd thrown me unceremoniously down onto my bed and snarled, "Bad human." I loved the bad human part.
Yeah.
But also I don't even want to say it because it's so but when he says, and I'm sorry to anybody who's listening that is a little sensitive to the F word. But
You're listening to the wrong podcast if you're sensitive to the F word.
yes. Yes. Okay. So when he says, "Nobody will ever fuck you the way I'm about to fuck you, Seraphine. I'm about to introduce you to all 7 gods. When you meet them, don't forget to tell them I'm the one you worship on your knees." Yes, sir. Yep.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. I mean, obviously there were other like really good moments in the book. But that was what just stood out to me.
After you read so many books with spice in it, it's nice when a spicy scene can give you that feeling of being so good because they're all so much of the same or just cringy, like moist
Honestly,
folds and so when you hear
why'd you
a
have to
lot
drop that?
when you get a line that like sticks with you during one of those scenes, it's something special.
Honestly, out of all of the like spicy books I've been reading over like I'd say probably the last half a year at least, 90% of the spicy scenes I've just been like glossing over.
Yeah,
Like they've just like my eyes just graze over it and I just wait till I get back to the plot.
basically.
So like this book was completely different.
Yeah. And again, it's like a broken record at this point, but with that male narrator in these scenes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah. He's doing the Lord's work.
Yes, he is. God bless.
Yeah.
Where's that hose when you need it?
I think we need like shock collars. Anyways, on to world building and magic. Did you find that the world was immersive? Was it easy for you to picture?
Yes, actually. They gave a lot. Okay, actually, the human world was easy to picture. They gave a lot of descriptions about the human world, the desert, the way it was laid out, what like the slums looked like, how the castle looked. But then you get to the Fey world, and the descriptions are slim to none. I could not picture anything about the Fey world whatsoever. But everything from the first half, I was like watching a movie. I'm sorry, I know.
I wish. But yeah, no, like I get that because you're right. She did describe the human world perfectly. Like I completely agree. But then, like you said, with the Fey world, it was just it's snowing. That's all I got was that it was a cold place.
Yeah, and then like I looked up some fan art for the Fey world, and the part where the vampires are on the other side of the marsh and they come halfway through the marsh, I was literally like, all I could picture for like that type of scene was this like itty bitty lake. Right? Like, and then I look up the fan art and it's just like this massive landscape and huge body of water and just everything around, like the castles, the buildings, everything was insane. Yeah, I'm like, I didn't get any of that.
No, my brain did not fill in those pieces.
Like, I got the bridge behind the mill property going to the salmon ladder. Like, that's what I got after reading that. Like, take out the bridge, that's what it is.
Yeah. Oh my god.
How did you find the magic system? Was it clear and consistent for you?
Yeah, I don't think I really had much issue with like understanding what the magic system was, like with the Quicksilver and stuff. No, I think she did a pretty good job at describing stuff for us.
Yeah.
Or explaining stuff for what we could know at the time because we really were we were learning it basically as Saris was learning it.
Yeah.
So I think that really helped with that.
Has she said how many books are going to be in the series or if it's just going to be a duology?
The last I seen, it was going to be a trilogy.
Okay.
But she might do other like side character stories.
I hope Carrion gets his own book.
Agreed.
But that's going down a bad rabbit hole that I can't get into right now. But I was thinking, like, depending on how many she's gonna do for like this main storyline with these main people, it'll be nice to have like a slower rollout of the magic details.
Yeah, for sure.
Was there any unique world building elements you loved? Creatures, politics, landscapes?
Yeah, I mean, zombies were pretty cool. I don't know, because they, again, like, they didn't really give us much description. I say they, but it's just Callie.
Yeah. And you can blame the editors, too. They could have told her to put something else in there.
True. Okay, we'll say they. We won't put all the blame on poor Callie. But yeah, like I just again, like as for landscapes, we didn't really get a whole lot of description
Yeah. I hope
for
the
it.
next book has a lot more world building for the Fae side.
And it probably will. That's usually how these romantasy series go. Like the first
Yeah.
one is to get you hooked, and then the second one is just like more info dumping on you, basically.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. What about you?
I basically feel the same. Um the politics of it is like any general bad guy politics.
Hmm. Yeah, it was very like cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, the king is evil.
Ooh.
Yeah, that part's not very unique.
Yeah, I mean, even the human side wasn't unique because the unique side was very much giving Hunger Games.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. All the different districts and trying to, like, weed out the poor and.
Yeah. All the rationing and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Ooh, the harder questions, the themes and deeper analysis. The stuff I'm not good at.
Me neither. I don't know if I like really like I feel if I read it physically, I could have took in more to answer questions like this about like themes and stuff. But because I was listening to the audiobook, it was just like
Yeah, like what's listed there, like the loyalty and corruption are definitely big ones.
yeah.
Corruption in the Fae world and the human world, and then like the loyalty between like Fisher and what he did for his people, and
Mhm.
there was a lot of that as well. So some of the major themes for this book. So we have fate versus personal choice. So Saris and Kingfisher obviously fulfill the fated mates trope. So the two characters that are meant to be together inherently raises the question of free will. If the forces of the universe unite two people against insurmountable odds, the novel asks, can they also choose to be together? There's no, like, clear answer for that yet.
No, there's not at all.
Yeah. So, like, Saris returns to Avilia as a newly created half-fae, half-vampire, and it ends on a cliffhanger, so we know that she's going to have a longer lifespan. Fisher's Quicksilver is slowly being taken out of him, so his lifespan will also be longer again. And we don't know yet how the pair's ability to make choices for themselves will ultimately play out, because they both have big responsibilities on now separate ends of the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
And then we still have a big war coming, still, essentially.
Yep.
And then another theme for this one that we've talked about with, like, the Hunger Games relations, but scarcity versus abundance. We have the capital main area where they're all rich, there's tons of food, there's baths of water, and then we have the slums, District 3, I think they're from, right? Sarah's is from.
Possibly.
And I'm pretty
Okay.
sure it's not called districts in this book, but now that I've said Hunger Games, that's all I
Yeah.
can think of. Area 3. Where it's rationed so much they can't even get like a glass of water each a day.
Oh, that like really turned my stomach when and I don't even remember who it was that was talking about if it was Saris or not, but talking about how like the water that they get in their area
Yeah.
is like sewer water.
Yeah.
It's not even clean water that they Yeah.
I love when she gets to the Feyland and Everlane was like, "You haven't bathed for a week. Like, you need a bath." And then Sarah's just like, "A bath?" Like, I can fully immerse myself in water.
And when she was pouring up the glass of water for Saris, and she's just like downed it all, like, ha, good luck taking this back. I'm gonna suck it right back. And then she was just like, here's more water for you.
Yeah.
And she was just like, what is this?
Yeah. The last big theme of the book is the effects of immortality on mortality. So Quicksilver plays with the fantasy convention that long-lived fantastical species have different morality systems than those in their human counterparts. In this novel, the long lives and greater hardiness of the Fae influence their worldview, in particular when combined with a long rule or a hunger for unending life. They lead to corruption.
Mm.
Yep.
Do you think with Saris being like half vampire and now like having a court, do you think that this might go to her head? Being someone that comes from so little and
But,
now.
but like, the vampires didn't have much in this series either, because, like, Malcolm has the, like, moral decay that comes with hunger and, like, and the hunger for eternal existence. Like, they're not
Mhm.
living, or not living well. Like, they're always, like, and that's why they're pushing towards the Fae to try and, like, get more food. And
Yeah.
so I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see how she takes that role and what she decides to do with her new non-living people.
Book two. Did any of this novel like make you think differently about anything?
Made me more thankful for my running water.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big one. That is a big one. Yeah, like I think Callie did a really good job at really making us feel for Saris not having anything. And then when she was in the Fae world, how much she could have. Like
Yeah.
just of like the bare necessities that we think of.
Yeah, because Sarah's would have the moments like, I'm sitting here bathing and drinking, and like everyone
Yeah.
back home is nothing. Like,
Yeah.
so what was your overall rating for the book?
Oh,
And give
it's
us
definitely a
something
5.
fun. Don't just give 5 stars. Give us something
Oh,
fun.
5. Dang it. No, let's go with 10, okay? 10 out of 10 Kingfisher inches. I was going to say 5, but I was like, you know what? Let's go even more.
And I also give it 10, but I'm gonna go with Frosty Paw Prints.
Oh, cute. I love that.
I was debating going
So much
for
more
frosted
wholesome.
eggplants, but we'll go Frosty Paw Prints.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
So 10 Fisher inches and 10 Frosty Paw Prints.
Oh, listen, my parents are, they're obviously so proud of me. Anyways.
Would you recommend this book? I think that's a easy answer.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a big romantasy, but I feel it was an easy romantasy to get swept up with.
Yeah, it didn't feel as long, like the first or second time I read it, it didn't feel as long as it was.
Yeah.
Like, I paused the series to reread this, and each of those books, and there's a trilogy, and each of those books is the same size as this book. Each of those books felt 3 times as long as this one did. And they're not bad books. They were all 5-star books as well. But this just was so fast-paced. Everything was so
It was
good.
like candy.
Hmm?
It was like candy.
Yeah. Could not stop.
Yep.
Who would you recommend this book to? Any thirsty, feral, shadow daddy loving
Adult.
bitches out there?
Yes. Yes. I want to say like it would be good for beginner fantasy readers, but I honestly I'm not so sure because we do still get like has like heavy themes in it. No, maybe it would be good for a beginner fantasy reader. If you're like first wanting to, I don't know, like stick your toes in for a romantasy
Yeah.
and you don't want to start with the obvious ACOTAR or Throne of Glass.
Yeah.
I think Quicksilver would be a pretty good start.
It is a nice balance because there's a nice bit of romance, there's a good bit of plot, there's that little dash of spice. It's not like fairy porn like some other books.
No, it's not. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a nice mixture for someone starting out. Obviously,
I
some previous experience with fantasy reading would be ideal, just so the slower parts don't seem as slow.
Yeah.
Like, I've read so much high fantasy now that the slowness in this book was nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
Are you interested in reading more by Callie Heart?
Heck yes.
Yeah,
Can't
absolutely.
wait for book 2.
Yeah.
She does have other books, but I haven't read them. Like she wrote the Crooked Sinners series, Riot House. She wrote the Blood and Roses. So like there's other series that she's written that I know I've seen Crooked Sinners. I've seen those books, but I haven't read them.
Yeah, same. I haven't read anything else by her.
So like obviously we're going to read book 2.
Yeah.
But I think I would be interested to see how Riot House is, which is a dark romance.
And book 2 comes out November of this year.
Hopefully it's still on track.
Yeah. So, let's have a little bit of fun and let's talk about some fan castings. Our dream cast.
Okay, so I only have the 3. I know you have more than that.
We'll start with Kingfisher. Who's your top choice for Kingfisher?
My top choice, which might change once I hear yours, but Theo James. I don't care. I just want him as the main male in like everything.
I have seen him in like other people's fan castings, and like I could see it, but at the same time it wouldn't be my favorite.
I just need to see him with longer hair. But
well, my top choice, I think this is my top out of my 3. I have 3 top picks for Kingfisher, and I think the first one, or I'll do from third to first. I'd be fine with either one. But the third would be Michael Malarkey.
See, I have to Google.
He was Enzo in Vampire Diaries.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So he's my number 3. He has that strong bone structure, and he could do that broodiness really well.
Yes.
My second one is a little bit of a hear me out for the type of character, because me and you have fan casted him as somebody else.
Is it Matthew Daddario?
No.
Oh, okay. But yeah.
Same series. Cam Yaman.
Oh, yeah.
Because I seen a picture of him with no facial hair and dark hair. And I was like, oh shit, he really could be, like, he could play that part really well.
Okay.
But my top, Aiden Turner. He plays Keeley in The Hobbit.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we've already
Yeah.
seen him with that little bit of stubble and the long hair, and seeing him in
Yes.
full-size form.
Yeah. That is a really good one.
Yeah.
Oh, he's beautiful.
Yeah. He is my top.
Mhm. I just love Theo James. Can't help it.
Another good one that I've seen, and I can kind of see it. You'll probably have to look up this one because I had no idea who he was. Nicholas Galitzine.
I do like him. For who?
Fisher.
Yeah. I could see him as Carrion.
Well, let's move into Carrion then.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of the top actor I have for Carrion.
Okay.
I'll show you the picture because you probably know the name, and I can't even think of what else he's in to like.
Miles Teller.
Yes, that's it.
Be Still My Heart. That's who I picked.
Yeah.
He is the comedic relief of everything.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes, he would be perfect.
Oh. Yeah. The only thing is that like he would need like lighter hair.
That's easy enough.
Yeah.
I volunteer as tribute.
Oh, I love him so much. I don't know what it is about his actor, and I don't know if what it is about him as an actor, I mean. And I don't know if anybody else feels the way that I do, but whenever I see him, I don't know why, I get like a homesick feeling. Am I bonded to him? Because I don't understand it. It's a legitimate homesick feeling. I don't know if it's just because I've watched so many of his movies, like, all the time, right from, like, teenage years. But, oh. Anyways.
Well, we have Carrion picked
That
then.
is also. I also wouldn't mind Aaron Taylor Johnson as Carrion.
Who is that?
Just more with.
Oh,
you're looking him up?
yeah.
Yeah.
He was in Kick-Ass, right?
He was in like a lot of different stuff. He's Quicksilver. Wow. I just realized.
Marvel Quicksilver, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen that movie, so I can't. Oh my god! He actually plays Quicksilver. I didn't recognize, I did not clue in that was the same person.
Yeah, I could see him as Carrion too, but just Miles Teller.
Yeah.
So who did you pick for Saris?
That was a hard one, because, like...
Yeah.
I really didn't care. Like, there's so many women who fit that description. And, like...
It's very basic, average. Yeah. I agree, and I feel bad, but...
But one of my top ones was Victoria Pedretti.
To Google. Oh, yeah.
She has that kind of, like... This is gonna sound awful, but she has that, like... She does the dull face really well.
Mm-hmm.
Just, like, no emotion, kind of Kristen Stewart-y, but not quite as Kristen Stewart-y. Just...
Imagine fan casting Kristen Stewart. Yeah. Is that all? Is that the only?
Yeah, that's the only one I had for her.
I had Lindsay Morgan.
To Google.
Yeah. Lindsay Morgan. She was Raven in the 100.
I haven't seen it.
Such a good show.
Oh, okay.
That was That's kind of who I could see playing Ceres. But I think it's more so just her in the 100 that
Oh, yeah.
that I feel fits it. But yeah, I love it.
Did you have any of the side characters fan casted?
No, I just picked those 3.
I have one for Renfus, and then I have 2 for Everlane, and then I have 1 for the Undying Queen.
Okay, let's go.
So for Everlane, I liked either Elle Fanning or Freya Allen.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Either of them would probably play her perfectly, and I'd like to see Freya Allen as not such a serious character as Ciri in The Witcher.
Yeah. That's fair. I do. I like Elle Fanning. I mean, I like both of those as options for her.
Yeah.
They both are really good options. But.
And then for Renfus, I had 2 there actually. I'd be fine with either of them for him. The first one, which was my second pick, was Alexander Ludwig. He was in the Hunger Games.
I know who that is.
He was like the District 2 guy from the Hunger Games.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And in Vikings.
Yeah, Vikings too. But yeah, Bill Skarsgård was my first pick.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I can stand behind all your picks for those. And you say the Queen was the last one?
Yeah, Eva Green. I seen someone say that they'd like to cast her for it, and I looked her up, and I wholeheartedly agree.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But yeah, Aidan Turner as Kingfisher, I really want that to happen. I know it never will, because Netflix probably does not have that kind of budget. But
no. Sad.
Oh, what girl can dream?
I can't wait though to see like who they pick.
Yeah.
Not Luke Evans. Because all I will picture then is Gaston. How did you find the spice?
Just enough.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't too much. There was enough to, like, it make the story, like, just an adult story. They didn't try and force it down your throat. Yeah. It was written really well. No moist folds up in here.
Well.
Or sopping lengths, or just meaty member.
No! Oh!
Authors, please stop referring to genitalia like that. Yeah. Nothing will make someone drier than a desert than hearing that or reading that.
Or even just like front slit.
Or mound. I hate mound.
Mound.
Palmed your mound. I can't.
By which mound? I have numerous. Which one are we picking today?
But yeah, this book, great spice.
Yeah. Like, it wasn't excessive. I'd probably say it was only like a 2.5, maybe, out of 5.
I'd probably even say it's
like
2.
Like for
on a scale of like what we're normally reading, or like what the books we've read have entailed.
Yeah. Very, very well written. Just not excessive to make you feel like you are reading a porno. Yeah, for sure.
What is one thing you would change about the book if you could?
I don't know if I would. I mean, I felt like the book was well written. What would you change?
Making Hayden not such a dumbass.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Hmm.
The Hayden hate train is strong over here.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't think that like there's anything that I can think of.
And I guess in other words, we've talked about this, but we can't have a Caffeine and Conjuring podcast without asking, what is your caffeine rating? Was it a chill decaf read or a stay up till 3 a.m. high caffeine chaos read?
High caffeine chaos read.
Give me the caffeine,
Devoured
give me
it.
the Kingfisher. So
Yep.
good. So good.
Yep. Agreed. There was definitely nothing dull decaffeinated out of this one. Yeah.
I think that's it for Quicksilver. We'll have our
Yeah.
second side quest at the end of July. Should we give a little hint to our second side quest?
I think we should.
So we'll leave you with the clue that the world of our next side quest was mentioned in today's episode.
Hmm.
So we'll see you at the end of July for side quest number 2.
Bum, bum. And if you want to hear our future hints to what the next side quest review will be sure to follow us on Instagram at Caffeine and Conjuring and rate and subscribe to our podcast.